Dog Gadgets. Live.
Oh, fuck.
Here we go. Hi. Live.
Am I cursing live on?
I can't remember.
No, I was cursing like,
I
whoa,
should've
something.
said 3, 2, 1.
Something scared me. I wasn't paying attention here. So apologies for cursing on air. I'm sure they'll revoke our FCC license.
No.
So hi, happy Friday. It's Josh from Brown Dog Gadgets. Yay. Yeah. I feel like I'm like a little. Yeah. Anyway.
Been a long week.
It has been too much video photography.
Wow.
So our big thing this week is, by the way, happy Friday. Yay. Friday. We're doing a Kickstarter campaign for our Crazy Circuits bitboard,
We are.
which we have, I think it's one over here, but it's attached to something. It's. I took it out of that one.
Yeah, no, we took it out.
I'll grab Wally here
Here,
and
just
show it.
pick up the whole thing. It'll come with you.
It's
There
our.
you go.
I can't even show it on here because it's green, and we have a green screen. But it's our microbit to Lego component that we're doing a Kickstarter campaign for, and we did that yesterday. There we go.
Where is it? There we go.
This guy here, we have it plugged into this big Wally.
Yeah,
But we have a whole
we
Kickstarter
do.
campaign. You can find it at Kickstarter.com. We actually hit our goal yesterday in like an hour, so that was nice.
Super duper.
Yay, it was only $2,000.
Yeah.
But
Start.
if you want to get in on this sweet microbit action
Yeah.
with Lego,
Yeah.
ooh,
You can do it.
you can do that by going to Kickstarter and looking up the Bitboard. Just Google search Bitboard on there. And we have a bunch of things. They're all basically all of our kits and stuff are 20% off our eventual retail price point.
Yeah.
We have a few early bird specials, which are just 40% off. It's if you want to get in early, basically for our email list and people who watch our social media and whatnot. So there's a limited number of those. Those are 40% off what's going to be our retail price point on these. So we have some nice kits of stuff that come with or without a microbit, other materials and supplies, bitboard. So like $15, you can get a bitboard, some of our maker tape, a nice big right angle USB cable, and battery holder with a nice little JST connector on the end that works really well with our bitboard. A really nice big solid JST connector, because I really hate the small ones that come with the microbits. They're flimsy. They're pretty standard, but they're not super kid friendly. But anyway, those are up on Kickstarter right now. Seriously, go if you like Crazy Circuits and Lego and microbit. It's really cheap, and they'll be shipping in time for Christmas, end of November, early December. But I think we're up to like $7,300 out of the $2,000 goal we had.
Yeah.
And so,
we can find out what.
there it is, Bitboard, yay!
That's the total right now. Let's see if it goes up. Oh, where'd it go? 72. Yeah, not bad at all. Very nice, very nice. Josh, you know what JST stands for?
Just super.
No, it's the Japanese Standard Terminal, I believe.
Very good.
Yeah. You know what JVC stands for? That was the Japanese video company back in the day. They used to make VCRs and audio.
What's a VCR?
Oh, a video cassette recorder, yeah. Well,
Oh man, I only deal with magnetic open reel-to-reel tapes. You know that.
I remember in high school they played a TV show and it was on a big reel-to-reel cassette,
Wow.
Big one.
Yeah. We could.
I'm old.
By the way, we could spend an entire day talking about like old forms of media just by crud out of my office because I've got open reel tapes in there.
You know what I like to say? From magnetic tape to maker tape.
It's true. Our maker tape is pretty awesome. You can't record TV shows or bootlegs of Beatles vinyl on there, but what you can do is make cool projects. Well, today we're going to show off a few projects we've done. Nice. We've been showing off a ton of stuff that we've done during for our Kickstarter campaign. That video on our Kickstarter campaign has a ton of really, really, really good projects we built up. Some of these things are parts of those that we wanted to show off, and a couple new things that that Pete has put together, just randomly puts things together and shows up at the office with them. So let's actually start going over these things. And once again, if you like what you see here, we are also on social media. We're giving away some Bitboard stuff starting next week, Monday. So if you want to get, possibly get a free Bitboard or some other crud from us, we're going to start doing little mini contests to give stuff away starting next week. So follow us. I promise we just mostly post projects on there. Like, look at this cool thing we made.
Yeah, a lot of times it's kind of a sneak peek of a project we'll have a full guide for later or something.
Yeah, or when we release a new part or make a new part. I mean, yeah. You try to do too much selfless promotion on there. It's usually like we made a cool thing, or hey, we put this together. What do you think of this? Or I share like cool things other makers do on occasion.
Yeah.
Like the other day, Anne Marie Thomas out of Minnesota has some Lego with Braille on it. Actually, I think it's
Yeah, I
official
saw that.
Braille Lego,
Very cool.
which I'd never seen before,
Yeah.
and that's pretty cool because she works with some of the people from Lego Education, I believe.
Yeah.
She works at St. Thomas University, the inventor of squishy circuits, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so.
You're doing sound effects, which I can't hear.
When you watch it later, you'll watch this one later, I'm sure.
Well, I could hear them anyway. I have horrible tinnitus. It's horrible tinnitus.
Mine's worse.
Probably. It's all that punk rocking you did.
Ooh, it's true.
So let's go over a couple of these
Hold
little
on,
projects.
Josh, we've got a
Oh my
comment
god.
here. Do you want to read that?
See, thanks, Cat Science Club.
Yeah.
It is.
That is.
Actually, I had a phone call with Sam out of South Carolina today, who was like ordering some Maker Tape. He's a teacher. He's like, I didn't really believe you when you said Maker Tape was better, but then I started using it. Like, this is better than copper foil. Which is why I'm always happy to send free samples of Maker Tape out to teachers and librarians and like nonprofits, because it seriously is so much better.
Right.
It's like, it's like going from like a McDonald's hamburger to like a gourmet hamburger or something. You're like, there's a difference. They're both hamburgers, but nothing like McDonald's hamburgers.
Throw it away.
If Pete just one day showed up with that graphic like on screen, it's a good graphic.
I like it.
Anyway, let's move on to some other things.
Okay.
So we've been posting a ton of projects, like preview projects for a Kickstarter campaign, and we had somebody ask the other day about one of the shots in there, which is of like a street corner, a Lego street corner, just a standard little like Lego city kind of thing. But we had thrown some Lego ghosts on there and some like Ghostbusters. We actually got Lego Ecto 1, which is actually what I have over here, is the Lego Ecto 1 kit, which came out a couple of years ago. I've been buying way too much stuff on eBay to do. So that's what this is. Oh no, I picked it up and it stopped working. Of course. But we had put little flashing lights on here just haphazardly, and so people were like, how did you do that? Because we, spend like 2 hours building the Ecto 1, which is surprisingly complicated.
Yeah.
It's a really great project. It is just darn complicated and took a long time to build. But we put flashing lights on here that were flashing a moment ago. Because if we roll back the tape, because the connection is, we needed it for
It was a rush job for the video, so it's
Yes.
a little...
We needed to work for about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So anyway, how we did that. So like our ambulance project, which is one of our more popular demos we take to trade shows, it's just two LEDs working with our Crazy Circuits blink fade board, which is this guy right here. It's just a pre-programmed little chip that does blinking and fading on it effects. And so it'll probably randomly start going again.
Fitting it in there was a little tight, and then the battery we just kind of taped in. So.
We just needed to work for like 5 minutes in a video shoot. But it's a really easy thing to add to lots of Lego projects because it's a pretty small size. It just needs a coin cell battery to work. We didn't even use a battery holder. We just taped the battery down with Maker Tape. And then we just haphazardly ran tape all over the place, and then used a couple of LEDs with the back and forth LED effect, the alternating blink effect, to give it that...
There you go.
There we go. Now it's working.
Like one little loose piece, I think.
If I don't move, it'll keep blinking.
Forever.
But it's a really easy way to do things, especially if you don't want to go... Again, there's some really, really, really great like Lego electronic kits out there from people like brickstuff.com, who we hang out with every now... Oh, no, that stopped. Who we hang out with every now and then. They make some good kits, but it's really for adults. They're really small parts. They are meant to make your Lego projects be as Lego as possible without like hiding LEDs behind pieces of Lego. Yeah. Really, really, really tiny LEDs, super thin magnet wire. There's a lot of really good companies with really good products, but we do things in a very user-friendly kind of way, like for kids, for kids.
Yeah.
And yeah, this is just how we take that approach where you can actually hide this underneath. Now, one thing that if I was to build this as a more permanent project, and Pete used a couple of these, we actually have 3D printed reverse Lego studs, and those are up on our Thingiverse account. As literally, it's a 2x2 brick, but it's studs on both sides.
Yeah.
So you can mount pieces like under things on the female side of Legos. And of course, totally breaks the Lego rules. We'll never fly with any official Lego people, but it's a great way for mounting things on the underside. Like we wanted to hide Legos on or parts on the bottom of this. We could just hide a blink fade board, say in here or whatnot.
Yeah.
But it's a really easy thing to do if you have a 3D printer because they're pretty quick, they're small, they're easy to print out, and it's about as simple a design as you can get for that reverse stud. And that tends to work really well for doing stuff like the ambulance circuit, the back and forth blink. It also works well for airplanes too. Airplanes typically have like blinking lights on their wings. I've sometimes used like naturally blinking LEDs for those.
Oh yeah.
We have like blank 2x2 crazy circuits parts so we can solder something into it. Thanks to a manufacturing error, we had a bunch of those in our warehouse because we couldn't use them. Thanks, manufacturing error. But they work fine for hand soldering, just not for machine soldering, which is what we need for our parts. But I would solder on some naturally blinking LEDs to add to the wingtips and just add power, and they blink. There's no rhyme or reason to, like, I love it when you have two of them, they blink slightly faster, slower than the other, so they get off really easy, and then sometimes sync up like your windshield wipers to a pop song on the radio. You're like, nice. But the blink fade board works a little better for having that alternating blink on things, and it's easy to do, and this was seriously haphazard hooked together, and if we're doing this better, we would definitely redo some stuff on here. But this was I'm pretty sure you told me, hey, can you do this in 5 minutes so we can shoot a video of it? And I'm like, yeah. So 5 minutes. That actually literally was what I asked Pete to do. Like, and the ambulance, Lego ambulance that we have, it's like a 90s version that I find on eBay every now and then and buy. And like the Ecto one, they work well because they have a lot of internal space, so you can hide things very easily. And so for this situation, you could definitely easily hide those two Crazy Circus parts on there since they're black and white anyway. They fit on there. It looks nice when it's lit up. Yeah. And you should probably also easily hide a switch somewhere on here too, which would be another good thing to do. Or even have a thing like I've done before. I've used a Lego piece just to lock down like two pieces of Crazy Circuits. I take a Lego piece off, turn it on and off. Nice. Complete the circuit. Very simple, very janky, but... You know what that is, Josh? What? That is genius. Right there. Genius. I've been called worse. Sometimes by me. And by my students. Yeah, wow. Well, yeah. I'm not a teacher anymore. But anyway, so the Ecto one was a good thing. It's on there, that project, adding lights effects, especially like Halloween-y things or ghosts. Or like a Hogwarts big Lego project. Adding lights in there is really easy to do. It's got some different fade effects too, which I think would be good for like a ghost or some little spooky eyes kind of fading in and out. And the weird thing, those are actually really hard to do on camera just because of like LEDs fade. It's not really like a smooth fade. It's like lots of little tiny levels. It's because PWM tricks the human eye, but when you film it's not the human eye. Certain LED things just never look as good on film as they do in person, which. Yep. Like our gigantic Ferris wheel. We built a 2-foot tall Ferris wheel. Like I think one of the top 3 most complicated Lego projects. When it came out, it's like one of the second most complicated Lego project when it came out. Yeah. Like 8 years ago. It's 2.5 foot tall. It's a full like working Ferris wheel. You can put a motor on it. It works great. I spent so long building that. We added strips of NeoPixels on there. You can see it in our video on the Kickstarter campaign. But on video, it's so tough because those NeoPixels just don't pop the way they do in person. Yeah. You need a diffuser panel on them to really look great on film, which we just could not find a good way of doing that without ruining the Lego look. Yeah. So we have a few like camera tricks where like it, out of focus into focus. Yeah, if you're out of focus, it looks great, but then you can't see the thing. Yeah. So yay, video work. But you know what? It served its purpose. It did. You can. I think it's the most expensive Lego thing I've bought on eBay before. BrownDogGadgets.com, your source of men complaining about Lego projects that they built. So let's move on to other things. Right. So by the way, so for years, and I mean years, we've been kicking around the idea of doing a pinball, an automated pinball machine using like one of our Crazy Circuits components and Maker Tape. And there's a company called Pinbox 3000 make a really nice cardboard modular pinball system. A great kit. They're not very expensive. They have lots of inserts and designs and stuff for there. But they actually approached us at one point to do a standalone scoring system because they've been using a Makey hooked up to a computer. which was a lot. You have to have a computer, and they wanted something standalone. And like, hey, we can do that with a scoring system. It's just button presses. And so we had a teacher ask us about that, like saying, hey, I want to kind of do the pinball machine. I'm like, we have code. We've written code. So Pete did a little update to things, and we hooked it up here. And so this is our basic, like our game, our point score system. So you could use this for like skee ball, basketball kind of stuff. Anything we have to, you're scoring points of different values or even just one value. And the way the code is set up is that you have different buttons have different amounts of points. Yeah. So you got your points, and then you have a preset in the code, like max value score. Yeah. There you go. When you hit that max value,
here we go. Ooh, you win.
It wins, and you hit your 300 points, and you can reset it.
Yeah.
And actually, I believe
obviously you're using buttons here, but those could be triggers on a little pinball game or any sort of game. Could be a quiz show thing, whatever.
Oh yeah, you could easily do that with a quiz show or keeping score.
Yeah.
Because that's easy to do. And the thing that startled me when we started the video was I plugged it in. It has like a start tone.
I know you love your startup tones.
I love my startup tones. They're great. You flip a switch or something, startup tone. Startup tone. It scared me. I wasn't expecting it. But again, using like this with a pinball machine setup or a skee ball, I like always the idea of having like you get the like rubber balls or whatnot and put up some different size targets on the wall with different values on them. The kids could just throw that ball against there. And maybe you have a timer you can have as well. Like, everyone's got 30 seconds, have an egg timer or something, keep it easy. Like who can do that? And the best part is with like cardboard switches, kids can do all the work on it. And that's what I like about that. This is easy to wire up. Just wire this out to a cardboard switch on a wall. Not rough to do, especially with a maker tape. It sticks to walls very easily. Our sound wall is a good example of lots of tape on a wall that's not tough to change. There's different sound effects, by the way.
I'm working on a new paper, kind of a cardstock switch right now that's going to work with this. So.
Oh, you could just count if you just want to use it as a counter.
You could.
You sit there, just point like, okay, there's going to count how many times Pete scratches his nose during an afternoon. Just, I don't know. You're like a COVID mega spreader.
I stopped in March.
We have a reset button. So this is just a very simple setup. The fun of this is making the project activity that goes with it. We have a pin box machine we've had made. We've had it for like 3 or 4 years now. It finally got made 6 months or 7 months by Pete's adult daughter.
She did make it.
And so we need to actually turn it into a project. It's one of those things always on the back burner. Like,
gosh. What board is on there right now?
This is our Crazy Circuits robotics board. It is a standard Arduino, and our little 7-segment display just plugs in here. You could, Pete, I have a question. Are we going to be doing a bitboard version of this as well?
You know it, of course. Yeah,
of course
we already had the code for this, so I got it working, but we'll do up a bitboard version as well.
Yeah, we're going to start doing that a lot, where if we release a Arduino version of a project, we'll also give the code and a diagram for using with microbit and the bitboard.
Yeah.
So if you have one or the other, because it's big thing is just the code. We'll give an example set of code. Yeah. So this is a really good project to do for all sorts of fun things. Or you're just having kids like run back and forth across the room, like who can hit the thing on the wall back, forth, whatever. You can think of lots of fun ways to like really try to wear out children. I don't know where they get the energy from. They clearly.
Gee, why would you think of that idea? I wonder.
Running back and forth, hitting a thing on
wearing out children.
Yeah, having a 2-year-old.
I'll do it.
He has all the energy.
He does.
They steal it from the parents and they use it.
True.
They use the energy.
True.
Anyway, so that's this game thing. Pete, is this up on the website yet?
Almost.
Oh, almost.
Next week.
Well,
the code is on GitHub, but I have to do a little guide on it.
Yeah, we also do a diagram. Yeah. And this is just push buttons, but the big thing would be to make your own big cardboard buttons or something like that you could have fun interactions with. I think Andy, our curriculum writer, really wants to make a skee ball version of this because he loves skee ball. He's really into
I'm working on the Plinko version.
Oh, a Plinko version.
Lego Plinko version, yeah.
Lego Plinko. That's what we do at our office is Lego Plinko.
Lego Plinko.
So what do those guys do all day? Lego Plinko. Oh, and paperwork.
Lego.
And talking to teachers. So there's this.
Yeah.
So we posted some projects. Actually, you know what, Pete, just roll the dance. Let's roll the video.
You want the Lego dance?
Let's roll the video.
I'm going to just do this and see if it works.
There we go. So we did like a Lego dance floor for, that's like my cell phone taking video. The one that's on our Kickstarter video, much better quality. But we made like a dance floor, and afterwards Pete took one of the micro bits and put it behind here just with some fun lighting effects. It looked like it was little VU meters going up and down. So we made Lego minifig.
DJ
minifig. Because why is the M's on there? Because he's minifig. With speakers. So there's a nice little dance party video somewhere on Twitter from us that does that. But just a fun little project. I think we'll because it's just a microbit running like some sample just graphic code. There's no wiring. It's just a microbit doing its thing.
Easy.
Yeah.
Super easy,
The hard thing was making speakers, gigantic speakers.
Those speakers look like they're the same size as the records almost.
Well, those would be the drivers to the speaker, Pete.
Which
that would be a 12-inch driver, which would be a nice large
there you
driver,
go.
for a nice woofer.
You got it.
As opposed to a small little tweeter.
Where is your woofer right now?
My woofer is under the. He doesn't really woof as much as howl. Dog jokes. That's what we're here for.
Maybe we can get on the next Lego movie.
I mean, I take all that awesome Lego money. I'm sure the licensing.
Pants and Lego.
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, so by the way, DJ Minifig is found on Twitter, our Twitter account. You can find that fun video where the fun techno music I throw in there looks like it's bouncing to the animate, like the sound animation. It's not. It just randomly linked up.
Or is it?
It was the same beats per minute or close enough that it looks like it's there.
Yeah.
My spouse was like, "Oh wow, you got to react to the music." I'm like, "No, not at all. Just coincidence."
The mind wants to make that connection. That's the thing.
I would love to. Actually, I did see somebody use an Adafruit Clue to do a real-time music visualizer, which I thought would be kind of cool because the Adafruit Clue, which also works with our bitboard because it's microbit compatible, it's something we've had on our mind, and there's one sitting over here, but it has a built-in sound sensor amongst other things. That thing is covered in more sensors than my dog is covered in dirt.
What? Hold on. There you go.
Wah, wah.
I believe the fast Fourier transform, the FFT, was used for that visualization thing. I'm no expert on the code, but I read about it. What do you got there?
So this is another fun project. I'll bring up both here because it's the same thing, just two different designs. This is our fun project we put together based on the, hey Pete, can you do this? I already have.
I already did it.
Yeah, he'd already done it. So I'm like, oh well, let's make it look nice then.
All right.
So we're using our invention board. Yeah, we're showing off all of our boards this thing. So rarely do we get to show off all three boards.
Wow.
Our invention board, which is another Arduino type compatible board, just has some extra features in it, which makes it a little higher end. One of the things it can do is act as a USB device. And what this is programmed right now so that you press these buttons and you can turn off the microphone or the camera in Zoom meetings.
Yeah, toggle on off.
So you're sitting in a Zoom meeting like, wow, I really have to belch loudly or other body sound effects. You could just be like, press the button. It goes to mute.
That's right.
And oh, yes. Or
you have to yell at someone.
Be like, darn it, dog, stop barking at you got the dog is jumping up on you, or the kids come running out, something like that. So this is just toggle on off. Pete made two fun versions. Now you're probably wondering, hey Josh and Pete, where did you get these really cool Legos with a camera and a microphone on there? Well, I too was surprised when I came out of my office after lunch one day. I was just like, oh wow, where'd those come from? A vinyl cutter. We have a vinyl cutter in our office, a Cameo Silhouette. It's a really fun tool to have. Cameo, send us free stuff. But Pete did that. So if you actually do a lot of fun Legos, just a little Lego flat smooth plates and just a little vinyl sticker on top.
And if you want those files, we have them.
Oh,
we
are
have
they?
A guide for this.
Oh, we have a guide. In are the files on the guide?
It's in the GitHub repository with the code. Yeah.
You can also print them off onto your printer and really carefully cut them out and then glue them down.
You could do that.
But a little vinyl cutter, if you have one available, that works nice. Or just you have these. The graphics on the top of these are just from random. These are actually Lego stickers, Legos with stickers on them from Lego sets.
You could use plain ones. Josh, you have the business edition and the fun edition, for the kids and the adults. That's why we got two different styles.
Now you're probably wondering, why are you pressing Legos, Josh? Well, because
take it apart.
I'm going to take it apart.
Rip it apart.
So we actually have a guide on this system of making Lego buttons. So what we have underneath here are, not destroy this too much, we have a couple of our jumbo push buttons. These are big old push buttons right there. And what we do is we just use a 2x2 round Lego piece with a axle through it. And we then use a Lego plate that has holes in it. These are typically for Lego Technics. You can find all this kind of stuff at like brickowl.com. We don't have this stuff already. And we usually put like a round piece here with a hole in the center so it doesn't try to Lego connect.
The height just right too, I think.
Yeah. And so then they just sit over the top of there, and when you press down on here, it presses down on the button. And you still get a good click, and you can feel it. So that's a really simple way of making Lego buttons to keep things entirely in the Lego environment. Now, the fun thing is we have this as well as several other cool ways to interact with our parts but behind the scenes, including toggle switches and push buttons. Just some fun little techniques of, so you can, I actually like the toggle one's the weirdest one. How do you use a toggle switch but hidden inside all controlled by Lego? We have a guide. And that's what's on our website is a little step-by-step how do you do this. Because you could just keep breaking this out, do 20 or 30 buttons, as many as you could have controllers hooked up to them.
Yeah.
But it's just the same thing.
And the amount of travel is like perfect on there. It just moves just enough to kind of push it, and it's still just kind of flush, you know.
For instance, you want to make a Lego Nintendo controller. Like we once made a gigantic Lego controller, which was super unwieldy to move and had some nice Danish women break it at a trade show once. I think they were from Lego, Danish women.
Yeah.
But
lift it and show it kind of angled.
Yeah, it's just we just have our maker tape coming through here. Same approach in here. The maker tape just runs out on this guy. Yep. But this is a really easy way. You can make a Nintendo controller out of this. You could, use more commands like you have a volume up and volume down. Essentially, you just be writing. If you're a really kind of person who really wants to do this, you'd just be writing scripts on your computer so that certain button presses did certain key commands. Yeah. So you could be like, I wrote a script, so I press this button and Safari opens on my Mac. Yeah. Or volume up, volume down, or just something silly like that.
Track, whatever, anything on your keyboard, pretty much you could do.
And the silly thing is, over here to the right, Pete has a generic USB keyboard that has Lego studs across the top, 4 by like the length of the keyboard. And so you can we're always toying around the idea of like doing this on that keyboard. I had a friend of mine who currently lives in Japan who sent those to us. Nice. So they're very not expensive keyboards, but with shipping from Japan, good times. It's nice I still know people in Japan.
Put a bitboard on.
Yeah, you can put a bitboard up there, and just kind of like funky, we could have stuff on the keyboard, which was always the plan.
Extra buttons.
But currently, right now,
buttons and
just currently it's just a keyboard with
and
Lego
stuff.
Just
play more sound effects.
Actually, you could actually have you could use it as like a MIDI controller or something, like pressing these things. So there's some. My nose is all itchy from allergies. It's COVID. No. But so that's something we want to do one day. Just a random keyboard thing. So this is kind of fun. The guide for this is up on our website at browndialgadgets.com.
Yeah, it's called Meeting Controls is what it's called.
Meeting Controls. Hello, Control. Nice to meet you.
You got it.
Does this Get Smart? Control. One last thing, and then I'm going to go back and do more paperwork. We're going to show you our little tiny Autobot.
Oh, yeah.
And actually, we're going to run the video of that because it looks better in the video than me just showing it like this. So, Pete.
You want to see the video?
Show that video.
Okay, here we go.
Pop-up video.
And... Hey.
So, an Autobot.
OTTO, Auto DIY, I guess.
Auto.
Yeah.
Not an Autobot, such as
Not
from
an
Transformers.
Right.
This is no Optimus Prime.
No.
Though I do like Optimus Prime's brother, Optimus Rhyme.
Wow.
Which is the name of a band. They threw Transformers lines from the TV show into their rapping. Anyway, things you know.
Right.
And are on my computer still. But this is Auto, OTTO. It's a style of walking robot that uses 4 servos, 1, 2, 3, 4, to do simple motion that way. So it doesn't have like a full leg sweep, but it does that little kind of shuffle back and forth. So there's a servo, 2 servos here, then 2 servos down here. We were trying to find a way to do this kind of walking robot in Lego, and Pete found a guide that somebody had written a while ago with this kind of basic design.
It wasn't even a guy. It was just a photo. He never. So we kind of had to decipher it.
Yeah, it was just a photo like, hey, you could build this thing. Here's like 1 or 2 photos, and then...
And he didn't have a video of it working or anything.
Some links that didn't work.
Right.
So we're like, well...
No code, nothing. Yeah.
We could decipher, like, well, that's a good place to start. Like, it was actually a good starting point. A lot of what we did here was just trying to get things balanced out.
Yeah.
Because the big thing with the auto is you have to have that center of gravity.
It's usually 3D printed, so the weight is set.
Yeah, and so especially with all of your servos kind of on the lower half, that's where all your heavy weight is, because 3D printed components typically aren't very heavy, and Lego pieces aren't either. So we kept having to add on more random pieces here and there to try to like keep that center of gravity lower. That works pretty well. So we're using our Lego compatible servos that we have here. You can find these same servos from a lot of different places. And we're also using a Crazy Circuits robotics board up top, because it has nice pin headers in it for being able to run the 4 servos. Pete even labeled these right front. Right foot? They're labeled. Whatever. And we also threw some googly eyes on there because it looked kind of funny.
Yeah.
There's a second video, or video from later on when I threw googly eyes on. Thanks, Wampus. Of just with the googly eyes, because googly eyes make everything better. These are really... Just grab the biggest googly eyes we had in our googly eye package. They are not sticking on very well. But we're going to write a guide up for this because it's a pretty fun little project to build. The thing is, just need 4 of these Lego compatible servos and just a bunch of random Legos. And we have these, I think these are 6 by 8 maybe chassis pieces here. We have a bunch of these. We literally had all these parts on hand. If you're building this from scratch, you might want to buy some of these. We'll list all the parts we use. There's a few like things you aren't too common, like these right angle with a bar on it, roll bar on there. Yeah. Those aren't super common to find, so we'll put links like brickowl.com where you can purchase those from other places. But it works pretty well. Mm-hmm. There's no easy way to put a battery in this stupid thing. Like we really try to figure out how to do a battery. If you're a super smart person and like really, really dedicated, you could probably hide a 3.7 volt lithium battery, a little tiny one, on the inside of here. And also hide a USB boost converter in here as well.
Yeah, you can do that.
Because those are basically the size of like a 3x2 Lego brick. Yeah. They're small. And there's space on the inside of here. So you can hide both of those on the inside and then run a little tiny USB cable or wire, or actually just power in up to here. Yeah. You could do it.
We should do that.
We have them around. I suppose we could.
I'll do it.
Fine.
I'll do it.
But they can make it totally autonomous. I just like plugging into USB power because then...
Yeah. Also cool.
It's easy to turn off. No. So he does move around pretty well.
Yeah.
For being a Lego...
He's quite the dancer.
Yeah. It's just, this is some simple demo code where it goes back and forth, as you saw in the video. This is like a show-off mode.
This was great because at first he tipped over, and then we actually changed things. We got him to not tip over, so he kind of stands up on one foot.
Yeah, it does a little show-off mode. Yeah. I know some people will make these projects with distance sensors built into it, so we can walk forward and stop.
That's another thing you can do.
But this is a really horrible form of motion. Like, as motion things go, our bristlebots move better than this guy does. We could actually probably make a controlled bristlebot easier than we can do this. Like, it's really doing its thing.
Pretty cool, though. It's still going. Yep. He'll just keep going forever, I think.
Bring it stop. Stop the madness.
Tip him over so people, look at his legs now.
So his legs have moved up. So.
It's uncomfortable.
Well, probably is, Pete. Probably is because we're old and not very flexible people. Right. So this is a Lego-based auto robot. Which we'll post a guide for eventually. It really isn't. There's not that many specialized Lego pieces you need. It's like 1x2s with axle holes in them. These sweeps. Some of these little chassis pieces, they're all pretty common. They're super common things. In one order to brickowl.com, you'd have everything you need. And then just a bunch of random other pieces we had on hand just to add that weight lower on here. And of course, the robotics boards. And as you can see, it's held together decently well. Yeah. It's Lego, so everything's pressure fit. And so, for what it is, it works well. And I'm never going to 3D print a bigger version of this.
Yeah, well, how much Like, if you bought all that stuff from Brick Owl, what do you think that would be for those parts?
If you're buying every single Lego piece there, you could definitely get that probably for under $5, I would say.
So a roll of filament's probably like 15 or 20,
Yeah.
and the printing time. So,
And that's the thing, like with Brick Owl too, if you can get everything from one place.
Yeah.
I think we can do too on Brick Owl, Pete. I think we can actually make like a list, like a cart list.
Oh, right in there. Okay.
Or like a wish list. I've only used Brick Owl for buying parts up when need be, or like this gigantic Ferris wheel is missing like 30 or 40 parts, which was my life for a while. And we can just do that. We can link to it. Then be like, here, buy these things and make this. But if you already have a bunch of Lego Technic pieces, like axles and little pressure connectors here, whatever those are, pulleys, spacers, you can probably do that on your own.
Yeah.
But we probably should just make up a nice big list of here's everything you need.
Yeah.
If you really want to go that route, because there's not that many different types of parts in here.
Yeah.
Gigantic googly eyes, but price wise, $5, maybe $10 at most when you get shipping involved for all the Lego pieces. I mean, I think the biggest expense would be the robotics board on there because we sell those for
4 servos, but yeah.
Oh, and the 4 servos because that's.
Totally
but those are easy to get from. You can buy those on Amazon or from us. Please buy them from us, people. Wampus. Yeah, exactly. So we're gonna be done now. Well, by the way, once again, let me Pete, let's go look at the Kickstarter. Maybe it's gone up slightly since we've been here for 40 minutes.
Let's do this. We gotta pull this up here and press this button. What do we got?
Hit refresh, Pete.
I'm gonna reload the page here. Oh, it just went up.
Oh, look at that! We're slightly more money.
There, 73.97.
Wow.
97. I hope we can get to 100 backers.
Are we on mute still? I can never tell in this mode. I don't know if we're on mute or not. I think we're not. No, we're not good.
Still talking.
I forget. We don't do this mode very often.
Still good. All right, back to there.
All right, whatever.
Look at that. Okay.
But please back our Kickstarter campaign because.
So we could play the video if you want.
Let's end with the video.
We should end with the video.
Do you got the video loaded up?
I do.
All right, I'm gonna do the video. Here's the Kickstarter video.
Hold on here. We got a question. Can you do that in Kickstarter?
Well, Cat Science Club, here's one additional thing to say. If you don't want to use Kickstarter because you're like, dang it, I hate Kickstarter, which I know many people do for various reasons. I think I'm batting like maybe 60% on Kickstarter campaigns I've backed.
I'm a little over that, maybe.
Maybe, and I didn't even back maybe like a dozen over the years. Yeah, a couple that never shipped.
What are the options, though, if you don't...
Well, if you don't want to go through Kickstarter, you can actually order all these, all the Bitboard stuff from our website. Which gives you more shipping options. And you can also add in other parts and components if you want. All the prices are still the same on our website as they are on Kickstarter for the duration of the campaign.
Ooh, right there.
There you go. So if you don't want to use Kickstarter, you can just order off our website. They'll ship the same time as our Kickstarter ones ship. I mean, we're shipping out the same time. So end of November, beginning of December. People in the U.S. and Canada should be getting them in time for the holidays. That was our goal. Yeah. Unless there's some really, really horrible like customs or issues with China.
I didn't say it.
They should be here on time. Everything else can be ordered up or we have in stock already. It's just one new component we're making up. Yeah. But otherwise, if you PayPal through our website works just fine. Credit card through our website works just fine. Send us a check. Send us a box full of puppies.
Josh, do you know Diane?
Diane, I remember your thing, your comment. I think you might have made a comment. But yeah, thank you for backing that. Seriously, like it's been a request for years from people since we first put it out because the microbit's been out since I want to say 2016. Yep. And we launched Kickstarter for Crazy Circuits in 2017, summer 2017, and shipped them fall 2017. So we've actually had a microbit prototype. Like we actually made up a proof of concept one in our whole prototyping phase, along with a lot of other boards, just because we figured why not just make them and test them. Right. But we wanted to, when we finally got around to it, we want to make sure we have certain things, features on there that were useful, that we've had requests for, or just that we found useful from using other microbit boards. And just things we've learned from like doing a couple of revisions on our, sorry, I can't show it off, on our robotics board and invention boards over the years, just like things we've learned. But thank you for backing that. Early bird pricing is actually only on Kickstarter. Just because I can only do so much on our website. Yeah. Like both are limited in the things I can do. But Cat Science Club, if you order off our website and want to save an extra like a couple bucks on things, email me. I'll take it off your order. I'll refund you. Or something like that. We'll get it worked out. I'll give you some extra stuff. How about that? For free. You guys are nice.
You got the applause button for that one.
Oh, good. I can't hear. I can never hear your. Oh.
In-ear monitor for you.
Yeah. Little ear thing.
Right.
My tinnitus.
Oh man. All right.
It's from dogs barking in my ear.
Cat for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Finally.
Cats. Yay. So, anywho, we're gonna roll that Kickstarter video if you haven't seen it already, because you can see some of those bigger projects. Go for it, Pete. Roll that video.
Do it, and then we're done, right?
Yeah, we're gonna be done
All right,
after
goodbye.
that.
Oh, hold on. Oh, I gotta locate the file. Keep talking.
Introducing Bitboard. The Crazy Circuits Bitboard allows Microbit to connect to the world of Lego to create amazing projects with motion, light, and sound.
I can do that, Dave.
Bitboard easily connects to any Lego-compatible bricks. Control Lego-compatible servos to animate your project. Control LEDs and NeoPixels for advanced lighting effects. The built-in relay allows control of higher power DC devices. Connect components together using our special maker tape. The Bitboard expands the possibilities with multiple inputs and outputs. Build a basic robot, or a more advanced one. You could even design a musical instrument. Programming is easy. Just drag and drop to create your project. The Bitboard. What crazy things will you build?
Right,
Andrew,
back.
you're commenting. Throw Andrew's comment up there.
Oh.
Andrew, we could 3 o'clock. Andrew, I don't know, man.
Yeah. Sorry, man.
It's 3 o'clock or something. Try to. We'll be back next week doing some videos for most of the week. Yeah. Anyway, cool. Seriously, if you like our stuff, totally back our Kickstarter campaign at this cheaper price point. You get a Bitboard in a fun box like this, which with stuff that's not actually in there. A fun right angle USB cable worth at least a couple of dollars.
That's super fun. I love that right angle.
It is. It's really great for our upward facing microbit stuff.
That's right.
It's the quality USB cable. Quality.
Quality.
We really try to.
It's like this one.
Oh, like this one. It's a right angle.
Quality.
It
ain't the wrong angle.
No, we're done. We're done. Back to paperwork. It's Friday. But hey, seriously, back our Kickstarter campaign. It goes on for another 28 days. We already hit our goal, but you know what? We really teacher training. Andrew, no excuse for learning. You're learning, but you'd learn more here. Teacher training. I actually knew an Andrew McDonald and lived in Japan. Probably not the same Andrew McDonald.
Really? Well, who knows? That's right.
Anyway, but seriously, back the campaign or order off our website. Either way, it helps us out. Helps us do a bigger production run. We actually do a bigger production run. But also it helps pay for all the video. We have at least 10 people who are involved in doing the Kickstarter campaign. And between our couple of PCB guys who worked with us on stuff. It's kind of like the guy who helped us do the entire thing in the beginning. Pete, Andy, myself, Felix in the warehouse. Got Natasha out of New Jersey, Ben, our video guy. We've got a lot of people involved.
Yeah.
With
and there's
this,
a lot of projects. There'll be guides coming, resources, all that stuff.
hardware is easy. It's actually all the back end
Yeah.
creative stuff, which always takes forever.
Yeah.
Plus me.
Yeah,
And this dog
very
who's
important.
down here,
You
the
got
Springer
it.
Spaniel. But anyway, we're going to end. I got paperwork to do still.
right,
So
and-
bye, everybody.
Here we go.
Thanks for watching. Please visit browndoggadgets.com for parts, projects, and curriculum. Follow us on social media at browndoggadgets. Check out our live streams at Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. We'll see you next time.